Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports, and a massive upset in the Currie Cup as the Western Province have been stunned by the Griquas in Cape Town as the Griquas scored a last-minute try through Jean-Louis Lombard before George Whitehead nailed the conversion to make it 30 points to 28 after the hooter had gone. What an incredible result from the men from Griquas, and it blows the entire competition wide open. And I said this a while ago. I think this is probably the most exciting Currie Cup I've ever watched. And results like this are exactly what this competition has needed. And there can be no excuses for the Western Province, who actually welcomed back a number of key players to their squad. And yet they got not completely outplayed, but they got beaten by the Griquas because they just couldn't put the Griquas away. Before we sort of break down the game and look at exactly what happened, please do smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. The Lions versus the Sharks is still on for later, so hopefully we should have kickoff at 8 o'clock South African Standard Time. Will be live. Come and hang out. But what in theory on paper should have been a fairly sort of straightforward game, I think, for the Western Province, especially after scoring relatively early. They made really good hard work of it, and what we've been saying is that this Griquas side, who have been playing together for a bit longer, look a much better side. They pushed the Pumas right towards the end, and now suddenly they've gotten beaten the Western Province, which is a huge result. And for the Western Province, I don't know if it's a bit of arrogance maybe you could talk about, but the fact that they were so adamant that they wanted to go for a bonus point, they were all sort of bonus point victories. They had quite a few opportunities to kick a goal, which they turned down, and it really did come back to bite them, because not only did they not get a bonus point for scoring 4 tries, but they lost the game. So they'll walk away. What they were hoping to walk away with 5 points, they're going to walk away with just 1 point for finishing within 7 points. It's an incredible result. Huge congratulations to the Griquas, because it really was a very, very hard-fought victory. They had chance to try and take the lead. They butchered a few, but they kept going. They won a penalty right in the end, and eventually they went through. And I think there'll be a little bit of talk about was their grounding, but my initial reaction when I saw them go over was I thought that they looked like there was grounding. Amy Barrett-Turan, who I thought had a very good game in the middle with the whistle, agreed. And that was it for the Western Province. So if we look at how the game sort of transpired, JJ Kotze back into the side, went over in the 7th minute. Tim Swiel adding the extras there, but they sit back through Ashton Davids. A very nice try. I thought Ashton Davids actually looked like he had a bit of a point to prove today. He looked like a man on the mission. Very nice game from him. George Whitehead making the conversion in the 12 minutes. However, JJ Kotze returned with another try in the 18th minute on the back of a rolling Moore. And there's a reason he scored 4 tries in that game against the Bulls. He's got another 2 today. Tim Swiel missing the conversion that time. George Whitehead then missed a penalty in the 22nd minute, but had another go a minute later and nailed that to make it a 2-point game. And then a bit of a shift in momentum as Sazi Sandu, who I thought was very good in his first start for the Western Province, making some big hits. He was replaced by Lee Marvin Mazabuko in the 27th minute. And just after that, Daniel Casenda scored a try. Horrible defending. Godlin Masimba slipping before Edward van der Merwe also losing his footing. And Daniel Casenda just cut back across the line and went past about 2 or 3 players actually before going over. Very nicely worked by him. George Whitehead nailing the conversion to give the Griquas a lead. And then Lee Marvin Mazabuko actually got the yellow card in the 33rd minute for playing the scrum offside. It was a completely warranted yellow card. But the Griquas struggled to actually capitalize on that, with Tim Swiel adding 3 points, and before Sergio Peterson actually scored a try in the 40th minute, which Tim Swiel also converted. And then a horrible start for the Griquas in the second half, where they conceded an early penalty and Tim Swiel kicked it over. So all of a sudden, where the Griquas thought that they were sort of well in the game, now 22 points to 17 down, whilst they had the yellow card. Couple of changes for the Western Province, as J.D. Schickling made his return from injury, as well as Neil Otto, the Varsity Cup star, off the bench, and Paul de Wet, who John Dobson rates very highly. But the Griquas won a penalty in the 47th minute, and a big moment for them was when they replaced their front row and brought a couple of big players on. I thought Andrew Bierwinkel made a very big impact. But a couple of penalties for the Western Province as they sort of realised the pressure that the Griquas were putting on them. So, Tim Swiel just kept kicking them over, 28 points to 20. George Whitehead then got a penalty in the 71st minute to get them within a try away to make it 28 points 23 in the 71st minute. And then they camped inside the Western Province 22 for pretty much the entire sort of last 22 minutes. And just when they thought it was Cameron Lindsay, they've just updated it now, who scored the winning try in the 82nd minute with George Whitehead nailing the conversion. But if we look at the stats, you can see that the Griquas really did sort of dominate a lot of the stats, especially in the second half. Overall, the possession was 45% for Western Province, 55% for the Griquas, with the second half being 42 to 58. Territory-wise, 55% for the Griquas as well. 3 tries apiece. Meters run, there was 265 by Western Province, 231 by the Griquas, 16 defenders beaten by Province compared to 13 by Griquas, 2 clean breaks to 3 for the Griquas getting more clean breaks there. Also had more gain line carries. Western Province had more offloads, but Griquas won 3 turnovers on the ground, as you'd imagine with Gideon van der Merwe, and Ruan Stern can be very good on the ground there. Kicks from hand 31 to 36 was quite even, but 70 rucks won. That was a very nice part about the Griquas. Their continuity was very good. Tackle success rate, the Western Province making 83 of 97 tackles, missing 14, whilst the Griquas made 69 of 85 at a tackle percent of 81%. Goal kicking success rate was better from George Whitehead. He made 6 out of 7. Sims 3 or 5 out of 6, so they both missed a single kick. Ruck success rate was 100% for the Griquas, just 93% for the Western Province. So that's an area that they need to work on. Lineout success was a little bit sloppy for the Griquas. They lost 3 lineouts, and the Western Province lost 2. Scrums were very even. There was a big penalty one both ways, so it kind of sort of ebbed and flowed, but there was a 100% success rate for the scrums. But discipline was the biggest thing for the Western Province. You know, they conceded 25 penalties. You cannot win matches if you're going to concede 25 penalties. You know, Griquas conceded just 12. 10 of them in their own half, so probably also kickable, but the Western Province conceding 13 penalties in their own half. So discipline, yellow card, 25 penalties. You're not going to win a game of rugby if that's sort of going to be your discipline. And that was a major issue for the Western Province. In terms of individual performances, I thought Evan Ruiz was once again very impressive. He made 13 carries, 100 meters gained, 7 defenders beaten, 1 clean break, 4 tackles, 1 missed tackle, but 3 turnovers conceded, so a little bit isolated. Namaklava on his return was quite quiet. He made just 3 carries and 3 tackles. Other players I thought was pretty impressive. I thought Sergio Peterson had some nice moments. He ran 27 meters, was pretty decent under the high ball. A couple of errors from him though. For the Griquas, your big carriers were, Ruan Steenkamp, the captain, carried the ball up 4 times. He made 3 tackles. Gideon van der Merwe made 5 carries, 5 tackles, no missed tackles from him. Turnover 1 on the ground as well, as you imagine. Daniel Casendo was quite solid today. He made 17 meters across a couple of carries, beating 5 defenders, 1 clean break, 9 tackles as well. But yeah, it's a shocking performance from the Western Province. And I was saying yesterday, the big thing I think is they need a good performance to try to carry into the Lions match next weekend. They didn't get that. It was the worst possible performance they could have. And I think that especially welcoming back some very big players, having Namaklaba back, having JD Schikkeling back, it was a very good Western Province side. It should have definitely had the firepower to have gotten past the Griquas, but never write off this Griquas side. And the same as the Pumas. And I think that's what I reckon is going to make this Currie Cup so exciting, is you generally don't look at a single team and think they are the favourites. You'd probably sort of lean towards the Bulls at the moment, but the Lions blow hot and cold. The Western Province blow hot and cold. The Sharks losing to the Western Province last week was a bit of a shock. The Pumas are looking like a really, really good outfit. And that's what we've needed in the Currie Cup. We've needed a bit of spark. So yes, it might be a slightly watered down in terms of not having a lot of the Bok players who will probably start coming back into the squad after the SAA game next week. But it's a really, really close competition. That's what makes it really, really watchable. Maybe it wasn't the best game of rugby today, a little bit sloppy. Quite a few sort of errors and stuff like that in and around. And as somebody said, lots and lots of penalties. So discipline was an issue. But I thought that any close game is a watchable game. And it went down to the wire and was won, after the Hooters. So it makes for very, very exciting rugby. And a long way that can continue. If we're not going to, as I said, I always say, if we're not going to have top quality rugby and really impressive rugby, at least it must be close. It must be a nice close contest. You don't want to see sloppy rugby with one team running away with it. That's a horrible watch. But if it's not going to be great in terms of the quality and the level and stuff, and a bit messy, it must at least be nice and close. And that's what we saw today. Western Province fans, let me know how you're feeling. Griquas fans will be over the moon. A fantastic game to sort of get us prepared for tonight. 8 o'clock will be kick-off between the British and Irish Lions and the Sharks. Make sure you come and hang out. Smash like on the video. Do subscribe to the channel. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you guys soon.